There are now so many new COVID-19 cases being reported every day in parts of this country. We've reached the peak we saw in April. Here's the picture across the country. Quebec is reporting 799 new cases today, the most of any province. In Ontario, there are 554 new cases, a dip from yesterday's record of 700. Out west, Alberta has 160 cases today, and we're still waiting for BC, which had 74 new cases yesterday.
The fact that cases are now at the same level as during the initial peak is worrisome. Things have escalated quickly, and they can escalate further unless we all work together to slow the spread of the virus.
We have heard that message on repeat, that we must limit the number of people we come into contact with. In fact, the majority of Canadians who have COVID-19 now don't know where they got it. That makes limiting its spread more difficult. Abigail Bimman looks at what we do know and why more information is vital for contact tracing.
In Ottawa, a new tool shows you where COVID-19 cases are by neighborhood.
By being able to observe these differences at a neighborhood level and see which neighborhoods are most affected by the pandemic, we can really sort of focus our resources.
But it can't tell you where people caught the virus. And nationally, the latest public health data shows 58% of cases came from an unknown source.
That is telling us that perhaps there's more community transmission and hidden chains of transmission. You don't want that.
Ottawa says they've given billions to the provinces to improve data systems, even lent Ontario 1,500 federal contact tracers.
To get that number down.
But we don't know whether it's safer to go to the gym than a restaurant, to a private backyard gathering, or have a drink on a patio.
People would like to know exactly which activities or behavior I should avoid based on what is the most problematic. There's not such a fine line.
We don't know what's actually safe or not.
Experts say we may never know, in part because people have so many more contacts now than in the spring.
I want to see schools open, and I want to see other businesses which we need stay open, and I want to see businesses which have been shut for 3 or 4 months stay open. We can start by targeting things which won't have huge economic ramifications, and that would be social gatherings.
The most important thing to know is that you get COVID-19 from people, not from places.
In Quebec, as some areas face a new lockdown, many places are closing. Libraries and movie theaters, for example, while malls and gyms stay open.
They're trying to understand exactly why the government is closing down some businesses and keeping others open. But we are honestly unable to answer. There's a systematic lack of transparency.
I would like to have this data perfectly, which is not the case. It's always estimates.
Quebec's lockdown begins Thursday. Abigail Bimman, Global News, Ottawa.